Hey everybody, and welcome back to the BryFyPodcast. I'm your host, Bry-Fy, your comics guy, and we're back on the road. It's a late episode, and I just am not going to have the time to do this in my office where I normally record. And so I was looking all throughout the internet to try to find out better ways to record with my lapel mics on the road to try to help, because on the road, I understand there's a lot of background noise because I'm driving and I wanted to try to mitigate that. So it's not quite as bad, but we'll see if it really works, if it really helps out. And I guess I'll listen to this live. We're doing it live, guys. So if it works out, great. If it doesn't, well, it's fine. Like we expected this. We kind of knew this was coming, or at least not the big we, but me. I'm just trying to drag y'all with me on this one, right? And I do have notes, so I'm going to try my best. Well, I guess I shouldn't read the notes while I'm driving. I will have them in an area where I can glance at them to hopefully move things along, keep things on track while we record this episode. So if you hear me just stop suddenly recording, or you hear my voice go away, but the recording goes on for well more than 5 to 6 hours. Like if this episode posts and it's like a 5 to 8 hour long episode, it's probably because I was in a horrific car accident. And this would be the last episode of the Bry-Fy podcast. No, we're not hoping for that. And then when you hear things kind of quiet down, it's because I'm slowing down. Thankfully, I don't know. This should be the only slow down. Everything will probably speed back up after this. My county, terrible roads. That's just how it is. The area that I live in, Texas, infrastructure is not our main priority. In fact, I don't know what the main priority for my hometown right now is getting a Taco Bell, because we haven't had one for probably the last 10 to 15 years. And they're like, you know what? It's time. It's time, Simba. It's time to take your place amongst the fast food chains of our lovely city. But yeah, so anyway, without further ado, let's move into the Nifty Nerd News. And up first in the Nifty Nerd News, Discord is not going to be my favorite game chat going forward, and that's because they are going to and starting to move to requiring facial recognition or identification, like legal state identifications, to be able to use their service. Now, they're, of course, blanket state, or they're bringing this or trying to soften it up as being like, hey, this is to protect children. This is a teen by default mode. So basically, everybody's profile is going to be considered a teen profile, not an adult profile. So it's going to limit your access. You're not going to be access a whole lot of more mature / adult, I don't want to say content, but channels and things like that, where, language is an issue and things of that nature. But kind of sucks, right? Because a lot of things like games are mature, right? So things that have to do with specific games means they have to be with a mature audience. So how do you get access to those things? Well, have no fear. Discord says, oh, you can either input your face into our system so we can recognize you as an adult, or give us your legal identification, number and all, and then you can have access to the adult content that's normal, that you can normally access right now. They're, like I said, they're doing it for protection. But I also remember back in October of last year, they they got cyber attacked, and almost 100,000 people had their IDs and any other info that they had tied to the site released to the public. And so my trust in Discord and their servers and their protection is very low. So, and I don't know, I get it. I've been there. I've watched a little brother of mine be on the internet and hear the things that people say and hear the things that he says verbally, you know, and the attitude and stuff like that. Like, yeah, right, I get it. Some kids need to be protected from that. But I think that's up to the parents, like, being there, being like, yo, I don't like what you're saying. Like, I pulled him aside, like, hey, you should not be saying things like that. That's not cool, right? I think responsibility has to go to the parent, right? At this point, like, I don't know. And I think this is a bad trend that you're seeing from a lot of like online social media type companies where they're starting to think like, oh yeah, we need to protect ourselves by making people give us their info. Well, you can't protect me. So I'm going to just find a different alternative. And there are different alternatives to Discord that are out there. Just Discord's probably one of the bigger and more widely used ones. So I don't know, man. Speaking of protecting the children, or not protecting the children in this instance, Call of Duty finds itself in the Epstein files. So, of course, if you're American or maybe, you know, worldwide at this point, we know about the Epstein files, a guy who was a human trafficker of underage girls, just girls of all ages, I guess, at this point, and prominent people within governments and celebrities and things like that are involved in this. And Call of Duty is no exception. Call of Duty ended up being a part of the Epstein list. And the CEO at the time of Activision, Bobby Kotick, had a conversation where Epstein himself was involved in it and that's why it ends up in the Epstein files, where Epstein is helping to encourage microtransactions. And if you look historically through here, when these emails took place and when like Activision and Call of Duty's microtransactions like really ramped up, it coincides. So like Jeffrey Epstein is directly responsible, and in his files directly responsible for microtransactions for Call of Duty. And like they even say things, and I quote this, that they're okay with, quote, indoctrinating kids into an economy, end quote. So like they're like, yeah, we're going to take advantage of these kids and indoctrinate them into this. Like the things that people are worried that they're doing to their children at schools, this dude is doing on these video games. So like I said, I get it. I get wanting to protect children from video games. I don't think Discord's doing it the right way, but I understand that but then this is like a whole other type of protection, right? This is like financial thing because like we've seen it. Kids get on Minecraft and Fortnite and they buy the virtual currency. They steal their parents' credit card information to get the virtual currency. Like it's terrible, man. But like having Call of Duty tied to Jeffrey Epstein is insane, and was never on my like 2026 bingo card at all. Like there was no way. I don't know, man. I don't think it's okay. I think that's terrible, and I really hate the microtransaction market. I mean, the game that I played, The Division 2, does have that for like cosmetics and like other events that you can get cosmetics for. And I don't typically participate in them. Here recently they did one with Assassin's Creed, which is another video game that I love tremendously. And so, because Ubisoft, shares The Division and Assassin's Creed. So it was a cool little crossover, whether it made sense in game or not. I enjoyed it. And I was like, you know what? I do want like the Assassin's Creed outfits on my character. I think that looks pretty awesome. And so like, there's like some level of microtransactions that I'm okay with, but Call of Duty's, man, just seems atrocious. Like the game Call of Duty, and I've seen like play styles of it now, look absolutely ridiculous. Like nothing like the Call of Duty that I started playing with, like Call of Duty 2 and Modern Warfare and all that, like the first Modern Warfare, not like the third remake, remaster or whatever the hell. So yeah. Also, here recently in the news, Nintendo, good stuff though, good stuff. They had their Nintendo Direct Partner Edition, so not like first-party games, but like third-party games are going to be on the system. And there's some really cool ones of note that are coming to Switch and Switch 2, one being Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Fallout 4, the Anniversary Edition.
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, and Resident Evil Requiem. So these are like some big name games coming to the Switch and Switch 2. And I'm really excited to see how my Switch 2 definitely handles Fallout. Fallout has been one of my favorite games historically, specifically Fallout 3 and New Vegas. But getting the chance to play Fallout 4 again, give it another shot. I know I did it on the Xbox and wasn't really that behind it. But who knows, man? Maybe the here's the thing, and this is what I love so much about my Switch, is the portability. Being able to just pick up, go, pause the game, and just, turn it off for a bit and go to the next spot. Like, it's the portability of being able to play these games where, you can't do that with an Xbox or anything else. So we'll see how it handles and how it goes. Up next is Crunchyroll, anime app that I'm a big fan of. I watch pretty much all my anime on Crunchyroll. I do have another app or two other apps that I use to watch certain anime that I can't find. Of course, I'm talking about Netflix and High Dive. There's some stuff that's still specific to those apps that Crunchyroll does not have, but Crunchyroll has a butt ton, and they've acquired other streaming services to only increase their library or inventory. Well, Crunchyroll is doing yet again another price increase, which it's always frustrating. Of course, they're using the added content, and I guess they're going to curate better or something. I don't know. They're claiming they're going to make things better to justify the price increase with this. In the grand scheme of things, yes, it's only $2 more a month, but that's still like you never want to see like that. And they just had a price increase if I remember correctly. So it's like, bro, give me a break, man. Like, I'm tired. Like, I'm paying for your service. Like, please just leave me alone. But I don't know, man. I think really this hurts. Like, they used to have a free version with ads and stuff like that, and then they changed it to like a fan level, which I don't remember if it still had the ads in it, but I don't know, man. Like, to me, price increases are always a bad trend, right? It just means that more and more people are going to be willing to pay it, because I know, like I said, $2 in the grand scheme of things, probably not that big of a deal, and probably not going to keep me from keeping the app, but like where is the line? Like, where do we stop? And some people have already talked about that. Like, pirate, like, unfortunately, it's still quite simple to pirate anime and get it through alternate means. Hell, even on YouTube, like, it's not a full screen version, but they find a way to like picture in picture anime with it, with the audio, so you can still watch new anime on YouTube pirate wise. So I don't know. It's getting to a weird spot where, like, with all the streaming apps and they're all getting more and more expensive, eventually people are going to start drawing lines, and eventually people are going to start getting rid of apps. It's just that simple. Now, for their lowest tier for Crunchyroll, I don't know if they're doing it for all their other tiers, but at least for their lowest tier, they are offering an annual subscription, which lowers the costs to where you just pay up front about $67, which effectively makes it around $6 a month, maybe a little less than $6 a month. So, that's a deal, right? But I do know it's tough, man, to be able to pay sometimes up front for a year subscription. It sucks. I think Xbox is like over $100 something for the year, but like over months, yeah, it's cheaper. But like, sometimes it's just not feasible, especially for like younger people who don't have like full-time jobs or jobs in general, or have to pay rent or other things like that. It's tough. So like the month by month subscription service typically works out a little better for them, but they end up having to pay more for it, which kind of sucks. What doesn't kind of suck is Ian McKellen has confirmed that he is returning to the Lord of the Rings movie franchise, because it has been confirmed, and actually this has probably been out for a while, that they are making a new Lord of the Rings movie. It's going to be Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum. It's going to be directed and starred by Andy Serkis, planning on releasing in 2027. In fact, they're going to start filming sometime this year, where it's going to focus on Gandalf and Aragorn's search for Gollum after he escapes Mordor. So this is going to be taking place kind of, and I think actually during the Fellowship of the Ring story. So the first movie, which is going to be really interesting because, Ian McKellen is not as young as he used to be. None of the actors are. And there's rumors that Elijah Wood's going to be coming back to reprise his role as Frodo. Maybe it's going to be much like he did in the Hobbit movies, or maybe he'll play a more involved role this time around. Who knows? And then the last bit of nifty nerd news, which I thought was kind of funny, so we'll talk about it. The Winter Olympics have rumored cheating scandal on their hand, and no one's talking about this. Literally, because I don't know if it's really that big of a deal, but I found this quite interesting. So what is the sport? Ski jump. And what is the cheating allegations? Athletes are getting penis injections. Sorry, there's no easy way to say this. So I was reading this article, and there's a rumor going around that there are some athletes out there that are injecting hyaluronic acid into their genitals to increase the size when they are doing their 3D body scans to have their ski jump suits made. So, like, ski jump is very regulated, very technologically driven. These ski suits that they wear to perform this are supposed to be as like skin tight as possible. I think it's only allowed like 2 to 4 centimeters of like give in the suit, I guess, for comfortability. Who knows? But it's to try to make everyone as similar as possible, as less air friction as possible. Because I mean, let's face it, much like a flying squirrel, if there's a lot of loose fabric in these suits, they might be able to catch wind better and glide further during the ski jump. Because I don't know if you've seen ski jump. These dudes are borderline flying when they do it, which is really amazing. But it's crazy. And it sounds insane. Like, hey, let's inject my penis to make it a little bit bigger, but not for the ladies, for me. Right? But but there is some scientific reasoning behind it, right? So you increase the size, and it like, based on what I've read, it maybe does 2, 3, maybe 4 centimeters max. I guess you'd have to inject a lot, but like, if they're looking at photos of you and like one day, you just got this little, I don't know, Ken doll area, and the next you got this giant moose knuckle hanging out, like, they might cause suspicion. But like, even with just this little bit, some experts are saying it can increase surface area of the whole suit by up to 5%, which in theory could garner an unfair advantage for people who are not increasing girth through a performance enhancing liquid or a pill. No, a pill. But right now, hyaluronic acid, sorry, that's a hard word for me to say, is not a banned substance. I don't even know what it's normally used for. I didn't look into that. But it's not a banned substance. There's really no founded source of this actual cheating, but it's like something that's been rumored. Like, people are accusing other people, like, oh, I think they're making their penises bigger than mine so they can fly farther. Like, I don't know. It sounds crazy. It sounds wild, right? But I thought it was really funny. And because the Olympics are going on, gotta talk about Olympic stuff, right? So, yeah, that's it for the nifty nerd news, guys. Real quick, just before we go, just a little bit what's going on with me. I have gotten an iPad again. Well, actually, my wife's old iPad, which she gave to my son because he liked to watch YouTube and things like that. We were like, oh, this would be great for him. And he could do, like, back then it was around COVID. And so there was like apps from their online learning that we could use on the iPad that he was using. So like, it made sense to let him have this iPad. Plus my wife wanted a new one, so she got a new one. And so, you know how it all works out. Well, he stopped really using it. He wasn't really big into it because now, COVID's done. It's never coming back, right? But he's back in the classroom to do normal lectures and things like that. And iPad's just kind of sitting there. And I was like, you know what? I tried to do Marvel Unlimited on the phone. I didn't like it because obviously it was way too small to use. Let me use the iPad and see how that goes. So that's what I've done. I got Marvel Unlimited again. I'm reading Marvel comics again. Specifically right now, I'm reading comics that were written by Chip Zdarsky. Chip Zdarsky, who's probably one of my favorite artist writers. In fact, if you go to my Instagram, I have a picture with me and him, and he did a headshot of Howard the Duck for me because that was one of my favorite comics of his from Marvel. And so I've been going back and reading some of his stuff. Of note, I finished his Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man run, which I believe is absolutely fantastic. I love his take on the character of Spider-Man, the humor and the emotion that Peter can have. I think Chip Zdarsky does a great job at it. And like I said, there's a lot of funny moments in here that just really make me laugh. And a lot of very emotional stuff, especially between Peter Parker and J. Jonah Jameson, which is very interesting. And in fact, it plays big part into the character of Spider-Man. So if you're curious about it, get Marvel Unlimited and check out that story because it's one of my absolute favorites by his, and just one of my favorite stories in general. Another story that I've been reading from him is Star-Lord, his little run on Star-Lord, which is fine, I guess. Like, it's good, but not great. I think really what I hate about it is, like, yes, Star-Lord is here on Earth, like he's crashed here and stuck here, and he doesn't have the Guardians. He's pissed them off, so they're not friends right now. They're not hanging out, and he's kind of like a fish out of water, and he needs a job. And one of the jobs that he gets is working at the Bar with No Name, which is a villain bar in the Marvel Universe, which I think is fantastic and a great idea. And I really like where it was going, but it's only like 6 or 7 issues, and then it's over, and then it goes back to space, which sucks because I really would have loved to play this fish out of water scenario, a guy who is of Earth, but has not lived on Earth. Well, for most of his life has not lived on Earth. So trying to readjust and figure things out, like, I thought would have been a lot of fun and really cool. And there's no big payoff to me on this. So I was kind of upset with that, but like, it's still a good story. Like, I like the way he writes the character. I like the action and it's pretty fun. And then I'm currently going through Chip Zdarsky's run on The Invaders, which is a very, very dramatic and interesting story that revolves around Namor and trauma that he has, and like PTSD that he has from World War II, and like friends that he's lost and things like that. And like, Namor has always been like this really big asshole to me in the comics, but now getting to see this and like the trauma and the anxiety and the other things that he's going through, this is a really good story. I never thought I would be like really into Namor and Captain America, but like, and the Winter Soldier's in this too. Like, but this is really fucking fantastic, and I'm really enjoying this story a lot. So like, right now, if you got Marvel Unlimited and you haven't checked out anything by Chip Zdarsky, I recommend it. His Howard the Duck series is goated in my opinion, or ducked in my opinion. It's just fantastic. So definitely check those things out. I love them. But that's all I got for you guys this week. Thank you so much for hanging out. Kind of a short episode, but like I said, we're doing it from the car. Trying something new out. Maybe it's going to sound good. I don't know. I'm going to post this, and we're going to just cross our fingers and hope that it comes out a little bit better than normal, because normally a lot of car rumbling in the background. So I get it. Like, when I record in the car, it is not the best audio, but I'm doing my best, and I'm trying new things out to see if like the noise cancellation helps out and makes things better. But we'll see. If you guys like what you hear and just enjoy, or you want me to review specific things or talk about specific things, get at me, dude. You can at me on pretty much every social media except for Twitter or X, whatever it's called. And I don't know. I've taken a break from it, but I might go back to it because people still heavily use X. But everything is at BryFyPodcast. That's BryFy Podcast. And you can also follow me on Twitch, or watch whenever I stream games or opening Pokemon cards. And that is twitch.tv/TheBry-Fy. And I got a YouTube channel and everything. And I try to post gaming highlights over on YouTube and things of that nature. So please go check it out. Rate, review, subscribe, all those things. And give me your ideas. And you can also email me at BryFyPodcast@hotmail.com. That's BryFyPodcast.com. Thank you guys, and we'll see y'all later this week or next week or whatever the hell. Bye.